So, welcome back to another episode of Elevator Dialogue on the Uncle Junior Network. I am Uncle Junior. My co-hosts today are Antoine, the other artist Christopher, Victor the Code Viziant, and Dwayne the Coach Dwyer. Also on today's episode, we have James, my main man Summers, and all the way from the Blue Ridge Mountains, William Hickman. Everybody, what's going on today? How's everybody?
Good.
Living life.
Doing well.
Good.
Amazing day.
Glad to be here.
Glad to hear it. Hey, as we move forward as a human race, we have seen things evolve, such as horse and buggy, to now we have cars, from the typewriter to the computer, and the list goes on. As of late, we have seen a shift in gender roles in the house as it pertains to men. At one point in time, men were mainly seen in roles outside of the home. As we continue to move forward, we see more men in what some would consider female roles. Taking care of children is one of those areas. We are not going to talk about whether or not these duties fit into one gender role category or not, more so when men are doing more or helping out around the home. The first question tonight is, why is it surprising to see more men help out around the house?
I'll go ahead and lead this one off.
So, yeah, go ahead, James. To introduce yourself, you the guest. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, like let the people know who you are.
Well, my name is James, or JL, as some of my friends and family call me. I'm a 33-year-old social media coordinator working for the state of North Carolina now. I have two sons, a 4-year-old and a 2-month-old. Very proud of that. And just to kind of lead us off, I think it's surprising to see men help out when it comes around the house and childcare, because previous generations, it wasn't like that. I think the economical shift in our society hasn't allowed for women to stay at home and just take care of the children. And now you need two incomes in a household for some people. And the way that, I want to say as society has progressed, women aren't taking that, hey, I go to work every day, and their response is, I go to work too, Negro. So what's your excuse for not coming home and being an active part of the family that you helped create? Because I know we all took biology and we know how babies are made, so it doesn't just fall on the woman anymore. And I think, especially as Black men, we've seen how the crack epidemic, how slavery affected Black households, and how the breaking apart of that family affected a lot of generations. And now, especially my generation, I grew up with a lot of people who grew up in single family homes, and guys that I played ball with, they didn't have fathers around. And for the most part, you had, 3 or 4 dads within the community playing father to these kids. And now they're in roles where they know how it was to not have a dad within the house. And now they're taking that role upon themselves. Me, I had a very present father. Like King James, he was there for everything. Football, basketball, Boy Scouts. Like, he kept us busy. There was none of this sitting at home, I'm gonna play video games. He had us doing something. And he told us is to keep us out of trouble and to raise men of worth. And that's what I'm doing with my sons. Like, I coach soccer, I coach T-ball. Like, I'm working from home now with a 2-month-old. And, and my wife, she's a teacher and she goes to school every day. So, and I look at it as a pride thing for me. I don't want my wife or my significant other to go out in this world and say, I got a trifling ass man at home, because even though he's working every day, I'm still having to cook, clean, and raise kids. And I take that as when my wife goes out and she talks to her friends and says, Jay, he does it all. He cooks, he cleans, he reads to our sons at night, he coaches their little league teams, he's active. Because that's my legacy. No one asked me if, she didn't ask me to, to be the father of her children, to be her husband. I took that upon I pursued her. So what would it look like for especially men to come in, create these lives, and not take care of them? You know what I'm saying? You're squandering your investment. That's the way I look at it. And I think that's why we're seeing a shift in the mindset of men nowadays when it comes to child rearing and being active around the house. That's it. I'm off my soapbox.
You got some claps over here.
I think it was well said.
Hey, look, I would say I appreciate the transparency you speaking as a 33-year-old man. I think that is very important that we start off with the age, because the age goes along with the era of understanding, because sometimes, like, if people jump in and they only hear the 8 words that they heard, you know what I'm saying, enough words to create their own, you know, like a preconceived notion before they decide to participate in the conversation and the dialogue. But you're giving, you know, like the facts of your authentic experience, you know what I'm saying, and having metrics that you can use to gauge that off of. And I think we kind of spoke like this before, because you and I are 10 years apart. So our dynamics and, you know what I'm saying, in terms of whatever our start point is, always comes back full circle, where we have to look at, you know, like what did we leave in our past that's helping you, and what are you doing right now in your present that can help us, you know what I'm saying, and gain better understanding of where we need to point our words and create our own level of tact and dialogue. So I appreciate your you know what I'm saying, your story, your introduction.
I think I'd like to take a jab. I see a different approach. I just see things have changed, you know, evolution. Women, I like a woman that wants to work. I mean, you know, I like a career woman, right? I think it's finding a balance in the home, but definitely I'm not into this, you know, wife stay home and do what she wants to do and all that crap. I mean, it's good, but it's not my lifestyle. I think, you know, women vote today. They're involved in, you know, some of them have better jobs than men. Some of them make more than men. Men like to cook today. You know, I'm being honest. Men are top chefs, right? So they want to be there for their kids more. They want to be involved in it. They want to set an example. Well, setting an example is showing them when mom's not around, you're able to be domesticated. You're able to handle the stuff that she handles. And I think the more men that do it are able to understand where the woman's coming from, right? Because, you know, now that I cook and I take care of myself, I'm like, how did my mom do this as a head nurse? Oh my God, bro. I don't know how she did it, but it takes a lot of effort. Making up everybody's bed, making sure, you know, dinner set, the table set. And I'm just doing that for one person, so I could imagine a family, right? So I think evolution and the way things are today, modern times, that's what led to men actually taking part in the household, because everybody is more busy. Everybody has a life now. Women are going to school, men are going to school, people are graduating in different degrees, and it's a balance shift. It's just a balance shift, you know. And you know, back in the 1930s, yeah, the man brought home the bacon and all that sort of stuff, because women weren't allowed to do a lot of things besides being domesticated and staying home. They weren't allowed to do a lot. And I think now that more women are out of the household, more women are you know, up in their education, more women are career women. There's now more of a balance in the house, and it's finding that balance in the house if your wife wants to work. Because let's face it, you ain't gonna take away your wife's career. You're not gonna do that, and nor should you, right? So you have to find a balance for the household. So I think that's, to me, that's why men are more taking a hands-on approach into the house. And I think it's better. I think it brings balance. I think it brings a lot more understanding than you just saying, stay home and cook and clean. You know, let me be the provider and all this sort of crap. No, that works for some people. But, you know, I just think it's just a balance shift right now. You know, modern times.
I think evolution is one way to encompass everything. I think we're sitting here looking at it, and again, this is about authentic experiences. We shouldn't have the same experiences. We can all experience the same thing, but have different perspectives of it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, all things are true. So the fact that it's even an idea that it's surprising to be around, to see men helping around the house, but nobody thinks that it's surprising when there's a woman that's holding it down and taking care of her own kids, and, you know what I'm saying, and paying her own bills. That's like that. We're giving credit on one side and recognizing the feat and the effort that it takes to get these things accomplished, right? But it's really just basic responsibility. Like if you're a guy and you live by yourself, you would clean up and cook for yourself anyway. So this is really nothing to marvel at as far as that perspective is concerned. You know, I think what's surprising is that people are being surprised, like as if men couldn't cook or couldn't take care of themselves from before. That's what's surprising.
Right.
So, like, we try to package a surprise in something very, very basic, you know what I'm saying, to somebody else. That's what I think. It ain't no different than what I always call it the the Webby syndrome. You know what I'm saying? That INDEP. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want props for doing basic shit. You know what I'm saying? You want props for putting out the fire that you started. Like, why men don't sit around and champion basic shit? That's what I'm saying. So that's my take on it.